Hey y'all. Okay, so I wanted to come back on and give you the other message that I received today. So, I'm a believer that we all go through awakenings multiple times throughout our lives. And some of them are not quite as significant, and some of them are much more significant. For me, in my own personal experience, I can recall times in my life that were really big times, where I did a lot of changes in my life, inward changes, things like that. And so back in 2020, that was another one for me. And the collective nodes, which if you don't know what those are, that's the north node and the south nodes that collectively we have. This is astrologically, and as well as in our natal charts, we have our own, our individual ones. So what my observations are, when our individual nodes line up with where the collective ones are, we are going through a big transformation of self and how we show up in relationships, because that node cycle is going to hit your ascendant and your descendant, which is in your first house and seventh house. And so your first house has to do with self and all the things about self, and your seventh house has to do with your relationships and your partnerships and your connections with others, and basically the mirror, the shadow parts of you and how you show up in relationships, and they're going to mirror that stuff back to you. So anyways, I realized that a few years ago that was the case. And so what I just realized today was, based on observations from other people that I know, in times of the year that they struggle, whether it be through depression or, just really darker parts of their periods of their life, and it happens every year at the same time. They may go through some really poor choices, really big challenges, anxiety more, whatever it may be, just more intense moments. And so I've noticed that there are people that I know that go through these things every year, and it's always the same time. And today I was talking with one of them, and we were discussing the full moon in Leo. And I was saying, when did this situation present itself to you? And they said back around, the August, September area time frame. And I was like, well, that's when the new moon in Leo would have been. So now we're at the full moon in Leo. And so we're doing a lot of self-reflections on what has transpired over the last 6 months from what began back in that new moon Leo phase. And now it's time to close it out, and because it's hitting for this particular person, and all these other people, it hits their rise. The signs are in their rising sign and their descendant. So first and seventh house again. And so I was like, and I sat and thought about mine and when mine were, and I was like, yeah, those are periods of time where I do the same thing. So I thought that was really interesting, and I wanted to share with you guys. If you know your natal chart, if you don't know your natal chart, you can message me and I'll work with you on that. But if you know your natal chart, your ascendant and your descendant signs, look back at the time periods of your life every year around the months when the new moon is for your ascendant sign and when the full moon is for your descendant sign, and see what happens, and see if you go through some people would probably refer that to even like seasonal depression. But maybe not, it's not really that. So it's because you're going through that other stuff. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys too. And I hope that maybe that resonates. If it doesn't, it's okay. And have a great day.